Recorded Books is pleased to present the Modern Scholar Series, where great professors teach you. My name is Richard Poe, and I'll be your host. Today we begin a course entitled Politics and Performance, Theater in the 20th Century. Your professor will be Megan Lewis. Professor Megan Lewis is a South African-American theater and performance scholar in the Department of Theater at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. She is a multidisciplinary educator with a passion for inspiring intellectual curiosity and advocating for the performing arts as a powerful force for social change. Her teaching and research passions include African theater and film, the politics of performance, non-Western performance traditions, and the performance of nation, race, and gender. Dr. Lewis has published widely on South African performance in many academic journals, and is working on a book about stagings of the Afrikaner in theatrical and public life, as well as a collection of essays about the Cape Town-based Magnet Theatre. And now we begin. Politics and Performance, Theater in the 20th Century. Lecture 1. The Rise of Realism.
As a theater historian, I imagine the history of this thing that we call the theater to be like a rich and colorful tapestry of many different threads, and they all overlap and interweave and create a vast, plentiful, and variegated kind of assemblage of traditions and genres and forms and practices. And arguably, there is no period in theater history as fertile, fascinating, and also as divergent as the 20th century. So in this series of lectures, I hope to introduce you to some of the really vibrant and imaginative strands of theater that flourished in the 20th century, their textures and hues and their aims and uses and purposes. And also how these various threads of theater and performance respond to or critique or celebrate the moment in history out of which they come. So this is not a linear chronology. I don't want to follow a timeline from start to finish. Instead, I'm going to work thematically through the 20th century to give you a sense of the rich kind of array of performance that thrived during this time period. So let's begin with where we are today. For many theatergoers these days, realism is the default. We're accustomed to seeing people on stage who walk and talk and sound like everyday people. Everyday speech is common on stage. There are sets that look and feel and often even smell like real places. They often have running water, electric lights that work as if they are in someone's apartment or someone's kitchen. And we are accustomed to seeing characters who have a deep kind of psychological truth to them.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?